Hello and welcome to my meditation. I am so grateful that you have joined me today. Today we're going to look at powerlessness as we relax our bodies. Oh, and I'm Deborah Baker. Let's see. Let's begin with our 3 nice deep breaths. I have a joiner here in the form of Daisy, who will probably be sticking her head into this meditation in a minute. Now it's settled back. Nice deep breath. Slowing it down. See, you just want to be in the video, do ya? Yeah, well, let's meditate, okay? Nice deep breath, slowing it down. Try to make your exhale a little longer than your inhale. Try to breathe all the way down into your belly. I was doing some energy work with my 8-year-old granddaughter a couple weeks ago, and I said, take a nice deep breath, and she just automatically breathed all the way down into her belly. And I said, good job doing that belly breathing. And she goes, what other kind of breathing is there? So I guess that's something we start as we get older. Okay. I think it's important that we relax our bodies and appreciate and love our bodies. And I've been on a kind of a kick to do the tense and release method that I learned in childbirth class many moons ago. So let's start with our feet. To kind of tense up your feet. That means you too. You got to tense up your paws and get down there. There you go. Good girl. Good girl. Yeah, that's your bed right there. You can lay down in. Tense up your feet and then let them go. Tense up your ankles and then let them go. And then your lower legs. What you're doing is you're kind of increasing the blood flow, and then when you relax it, the blood flow in your extremities helps you to relax more. In your knees and your upper legs. Imagine from the tops of your legs all the way to the tips of your toes, just kind of drawing it all in for a breath or so, and then letting it go. And just notice how good it feels. Through the tops of your legs. Pull in your lower back, your hips, your lower torso. Kind of tuck all your pelvis in. And let it go. And doing things like that is really beneficial to your internal organs as well. So let's do it at our midsections. It's kind of hard to draw it all in at once. Maybe the front first and then the sides and the back. And the chest. And the upper back. Pull your shoulders back. And maybe bring them forward. And then tense up your hands. And then let them relax. Your lower arms. Your upper arms. Your biceps, triceps, and connected to your shoulders. And then your neck. Draw your shoulders up to your ears. And then let them fall down. If you can tense your neck, imagine like trying to create a stiff neck. And then let it go. And if this seems a little silly to you, I'm kind of glad, because we all need a little more silliness in our lives, I think. Okay, so last bit of silliness. Scrunch up your face. And then let it go. Maybe the back of your neck. And just sit for a moment. And feel how good it feels to let your body relax. Love your body, appreciate your body. Be you. Our bodies are our earthly vessels. We wouldn't be having human lives if we didn't have these bodies. And as a psychic medium who talks to a lot of dead people, I can tell you that we go on after these human lives are complete. And so what makes it a human life is the body and the personality. So we love and appreciate our bodies for making it possible for us to have these human experiences. And our personalities are interesting and unique. And I believe that we choose, before we come in, when we are one with Infinite Spirit, we choose our personalities, and we also choose those early childhood events that influence and shape our personalities. Whether you like your early childhood events or not. Do you want to be an inspiration or a cautionary tale? Either way, there is value in every experience. So let's allow our bodies to relax and kind of bring our consciousness to our souls, to our infinite selves, the spiritual part of us that goes on when we complete these human lives. The spirit that I get to talk to when I channel different beings who have passed on. So let's visit our own spirits for a moment. And let's spend a little time letting ourselves off the hook. So I said that the meditation would be about powerlessness. And for those of you who work a 12-step program, the first step is we admitted we were powerless over whatever it might be, that our lives had become unmanageable. And I heard someone say recently, well, that sounds like the definition of desperation. And in a sense, powerlessness feels, at first, it feels a little desperate. We get to our powerlessness when we've exhausted all of the other options. The thing is, we don't have to go through pain and desperation and hopelessness to get to our sense of powerlessness. So powerlessness means that we accept, we acknowledge, we almost celebrate that the whole world is not under our control. We have power over our own thoughts, words, and actions. Everything else we are powerless over. And at first that might seem kind of disappointing or devastating, but when we settle into our powerlessness, when we recognize that the rest of the world has its own voice and its own sense of being, and we don't have to influence that or manipulate it or correct it or fix it in any way. So by our own thoughts, words, and actions, we can have hope and aspirations to influence the outside world, which is, what moves me to do these meditations, because I have lived an interesting life being a psychic medium, also working a 12-step program. And I feel like those two just meshed perfectly, and I want to share the wisdom that that has come about from living that experience and continuing to live that experience. So when we recognize our powerlessness, we become okay with it. And then we realize that it is very freeing. We don't have to fix everything, like I said earlier. And then we become more empowered to choose our own thoughts, words, and actions. But also, and more importantly, we recognize that there is one who has all power. There is a power. There is an infinite power, and that has many names. Some people call it God, universal life force, the one presence, the one power. It doesn't matter what you call it. When you recognize that, when you let go, when you recognize your own powerlessness, that is the turning point when you can tune in and tap in to the infinite power. And the infinite power is our truest essence. So not only do you tap into and tune into it, but you recognize that it is your essence. You would not be breathing, moving around, having this being as a human if you weren't God in essence. If that one, the universal life force is what gives us life. So we recognize that we're never separate from the power. It is our truest essence. Let's kind of follow a typical journey of someone who is going about life and life is throwing things at them and they're feeling like they're trying to fix it, whatever it may be, and it just becomes overwhelming and you're ready to give up. And you try everything, you exhaust every option. And then you realize that, or a person can realize that, I'm trying to influence, I'm trying to use power that is not mine to use. I'm trying to control things that are out of my control. And so I recognize that I am powerless. But there is one who has all power, meaning that I, my little human self, am powerless, but when I connect with the infinite, I connect with infinite power. And that shift is huge. And pardon the pun, but it's the most empowering moment of your life. When you recognize that your human self doesn't have the power, but the infinite power resides in you. And the power still is the power to choose your own thoughts, words, and actions. So I can let go of the world. There's a Daniel Nahmod song that goes, I leave behind the world as it is, go inside to find my God. Inside there is peace. Inside there is joy. Inside there is sacred love. And that turning point, that letting go, in a lot of ways it sounds like I'm describing giving up. And if what you're giving up is feeling like you need to fix everything and everyone, and if what you're giving up is feeling responsible for the world, then give up. It's okay. And a nice parallel with that is when we give up, when we recognize that other people are entitled to make their own decisions, and the world is going to move without us, without our trying to fix it or control it or influence it, then we can be at peace and recognize that other people are entitled to choose to be happy or to be miserable or any point in between. We are entitled to choose our own lives, so why wouldn't they? And then we honor their choices and we bless them, and that's not to say we don't care. We care deeply, but we don't try to interfere. We can offer our love and support ask if our suggestions are wanted, our advice, our thoughts. We can ask. And if they are, we offer them. And if they're not, then we say, okay, I'm going to stay in my lane. I'm going to live my own life. I'm going to make my own choices so that I can be of maximum service to the world, so that I can love freely myself and others. That means you. So that I can be fully present in each moment. And that, to me, being fully present and recognizing and honoring the divine presence within is what it's about. For me right now, it's about reminding myself, trying to remember in every moment that there is universal life force available to me in any moment, and I can stop. Let's all do this. Stop, take a deep breath, and check in and say to whatever you call your higher power, what would you have me do next? Higher power, what is the best course for me to choose today? And even, who needs my love and support? Who needs a phone call? Who needs an email, a text message? There's so many ways to communicate today. And how can I best take care of myself? Is it exercise? Is it rest? Is it, having something to eat, or just having a nice big glass of water, or just being still? There's so many options. And we are attached, we are directly attached to the universal life force. So we don't have to get the information from anyone else. God speaks to you, through you, and as you in every moment. You are whole and perfect exactly as you are. You don't need to make excuses for yourself. We are all living human lives, and those human lives are not perfect by human standards, but by spiritual standards. The universal life force, God, the one presence, the one power, sees that our infinite souls are limited in our human experience. And so we do the best we can in every moment, working within those limits. And one of those limits is that we are powerless over everything but our own thoughts, words, and actions. You've got this. We can let go and let God be you. Thank you for joining me. Take a nice deep breath and know that the universal life force in me honors and recognizes and sees the universal life force in you as you. Namaste.